Well, something has happened just a couple of hours ago. There seems to be unity that is coming to the Patriotic Front itself and mostly the opposition. So as we head into the August general elections, one of the conversations has always been to say, is there a possibility for the opposition to unite and have one front as they contest the August elections? And mostly the big group was between Makebi Zulu and Brian, and then Makebi Zulu led the Pamosi alliance. And as of today, right now, there is no cabinet ministers. As of today, there are no members of parliament. The Zambian parliament is being dissolved. This is Friday, the 14th May. The Zambian parliament has been dissolved today. So we do not have ministers, neither do we have members of parliament. It's only left should be the Republican president, Hakainde Hichilema, and the running mate, that is Mtalena Numango. Everybody under that is being fired pretty much by the constitution. So the powers of the minister have gone to the permanent secretaries of the ministries until August 14th. When the inauguration is supposed to take place, because the elections are taking place on the 13th. The results should be within 48 hours, so probably the August 15th or 16th thereabout, we should have a new government in place and new members of parliament. But yeah, so seems like the possibility of the unity within the opposition is highly likely. So far, so good. Tonse Pamosi Alliance, obviously, platforms celebrating that. And you could see the hands of Makebi Zulu and Brian Mundubile there interlocked during the meeting. So they made this publication just barely before 24 hours. That's when they announced that. So that is coming in the opposition. What is the FDD threatens to pull out of the Tonse Alliance? We are not Brian Mundubile 8 FDD. So FDD provincial leaders insist that the FDD will not be swallowed in the BM8 team. They have called on FDD President Chifumubanda to correct the matter, or the party should pull out of the Tonse Alliance. So those small wrangles are expected. But considering the number of opposition political parties that are filed in, the opposition have a number of vehicles that they can use as a special purpose vehicle for the election. So this is doesn't change anything. Even if the FGD was to start the funny games and try to pretty much block Mundubile from filing in his nomination or any other candidate that wants to stand on the FDD, there is a bunch of political parties that are filed in. I think that was the purpose of those number of presidential candidates there. So really, that's water under the bridge. But obviously, the news of Makebi Zulu and Brian Mundubile coming together has been trending the past couple of minutes. And then the UPND say, under the new Public Order Act, political parties have been allowed to hold meetings from their offices without informing police. Jack Mwimbu says. Probably that was his last ministerial statement, considering he cannot function in that capacity going further as of today, Friday 14th. Yeah, so more images coming from that say a force to reckon with. Makebi Zulu and Brian Mundubile join hands together. So the conversation of who's going to be the flag bearer between the two hasn't yet been discussed. I hope that doesn't become the issue, because there's a likelihood that will be an issue. You find that one of them is not willing to be the running mate, then that alliance or that unity may be short-lived. So I hope that they've ironed that out in the backdrop, because there's a tendency within the Patriotic Front to leave things like they leave elephants in the room instead of addressing issues, expecting that no, they're going to disappear, a natural death or something, and they tend to be the break of most of these alliances. So I just hope they've ironed that conversation out. But so far, Bino Mpundu celebrates that. Say Justin President Mundubile Tonse Alliance and Makebi Zulu of the Pamosi Alliance making an announcement. And on the other hand, we shall ensure the country holds free, fair, and peaceful elections, says Honorable Minister of Home Affairs Jack Mwimbu. a couple of hours ago. That's an extract from that. Tonse President, Tonse Alliance President Brian Mundubile says the bills passed through the participation of PF members of parliament who defected to the United Party for National Development will be revisited once there is a change of government. So the bills that have been passed during this period, when there's been a debate to say those were illegal bills, they are going to be revisited, Mundubile says. But one thing that has come as a shocker is that Bino Mpundu and Christopher Shakafuso? Christopher Shakafuso. So that's they are not contesting their seats. I don't know why Kangombe has opted out, but pretty much I don't know what his play is, because he's quite young and definitely has political ambitions. So him stepping away from running as a member of parliament, I don't know what's further than that, but anyway, we'll wait and see how that plays out. Bino Mpundu has also stated to say he's not contesting his seat in Nkana constituency, so you expect new members of parliament from the Koba belt, or it could be that they read the environment that they don't stand a chance of winning. That's another argument, but anyway, so I don't see how, I don't know how they intend to play it out. Now for Bino Mpundu, if Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu manage to take over government through the vote on August 13th, there's a guarantee he's going to be appointed as a minister or a nominated member of parliament. What is for Christopher Kangombe, I'm not sure, because it does not carry that much clout within the UPND to have that call to say he's going to get a nomination from Hakainde Hichilema. That's if he decides to work with him or endorse his candidature, pretty much like campaigning for Hakainde Hichilema during this play. Because clearly, he's been pushed aside from the opposition. The PF probably wants nothing to do with him because of that accusation to say who voted for Bill 7. What is other Patriotic Fund members of parliament have finally gunned up courage to state to say they actually voted for Bill 7. And yeah, so a number of them came out today to say, because obviously it's in hopes for them to get adopted on the UPND ticket, because as you may be aware, the UPND is carrying out preliminary voting within the structures to establish who are the popular candidates. So a number of people that have moved from the Patriotic Fund joining into the UPND are trying to prove their worth, to say they actually paid their due for them to be adopted on the UPND ticket. So they're coming out clearly to say, yes, one of them is the Mandevu Patriotic Fund member of parliament, Shakafuso something, I think Christopher Shakafuso, yes, that's why I was mixing up the Christopher Kangombe and Christopher Shakafuso. He came out clearly saying, I voted for Bill 7. And yeah, so that's what's going on. And yeah, thank you Mwankana, thank you Zambia, that's Bino Mpundu. And obviously he writes his message as he writes, thanking the people that have supported him over the years, the past 5 years. So they came to the Patriotic Fund and left as UPND. Hope the UPND doesn't adopt them and the constituencies push them out. Former members of parliament, Swangile Mwamba, Kasama Central, Marjorie Isoka, Michael from Masaiti, and Mlenga Kampamba from Kalubushi. Those were PF and they're contesting on the UPND ticket. So Emmanuel Mwamba says he hopes they don't get adopted on the UPND ticket and the constituencies push them out. Yeah, and then the real elections will be in 2041, and you know what I mean. The president has given us a figure of 5 million votes, and that is the target. The way we did in 2021, we do not need again. We need that again. We need to do that again. That's this one is saying they want to achieve 5 million votes for Hakainde Hichilema there, and he says the only next vote is in 2041, according to him. There, that's a hug between Makebi Zulu and Brian Mundubile as we head to that's what's in the Daily Nation. Zambians are angry. That's Nevas Mumba, but pleads with citizens not to punish President Hakainde Hichilema for tough decisions made during his tenure, saying that they say he means well. That's according to Nevas Mumba. And then that's what Emmanuel Momba's publication is carrying out. And then chaos rocks UPND Southern preliminary elections, cancelled as incumbent 4. Or incumbents 4, that's in the Must newspaper. And pretty much that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how it plays out. The drama now begins because now we are officially in campaign season. Parliament has been dissolved.